The other day, I was watching a YouTube video. This food reviewer that eats a bunch of fast food was talking about how his unchecked diabetes has led him to have ED. Now, he is not the topic of this video, but watching that video made me think about something. I have already talked about how the mom to wife pipeline is drying up. I've talked about how a lot of these men are failing and flailing. Now we're going to talk about how I think the mom to wife pipeline is going to cause a lot of these men to have ED. I'm not saying that the women are the issue. It's the issue of men not being able to cook for themselves that is causing them to go out and buy all of this fast food and have these reckless lives that are causing them to have ED. So that's why I put here more women pursuing higher ed is leading to more men with ED. Now, let's talk about how I came to this theory. And like I said, this is a theory. This is just something that I started thinking up on. So I have already talked about how the mom to wife pipeline is drying up. Now, this chart is talking about people and the ages that they get married at. Now, the purple is the woman, this green color is the men. Around 1950, women were getting married at about 20. The men were a little over 22. Fast forward to today, women are about 28 when they get married for the first time. Men are about 30. So that is a good chunk of time where men are not married. Like I said, the mom to wife pipeline is drying up. Women are not getting married just right out of high school generally. Right now, more women are enrolling in college than men are. It's about a 60-40 split, with women being the 60 part, men being the 40 part. And that obviously means that more women are graduating from college. Just because you go to college doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to graduate. The graduation rate for women is about 67 or close to 68%, which is 6 percentage points higher than men. Now, with more women going to school and graduating from college than men, that means that these young women are not concentrating on having babies. And a lot of times, babies are another way that men anchor themselves to women. Marriage and babies anchor women to men. And if more women are opting out of that, are going to school instead of taking care of men, that means that men have to take care of themselves for a longer time period without their mother or a wife to do so. Now, even if men want to continue to act like getting married is such a drudge, like, oh my God, the ball and chain, even if they want to act like that, they still do benefit from being married. They have someone that is typically there that's doing the household duties, most of the cooking, most of the cleaning. Pew Research will back this up that even if a woman works, she's still doing most of the cooking, most of the cleaning. Married men have someone there that actually cares and is like imploring them to take care of their health or make their doctor's appointments or whatnot. And because of all of this, these men can generally concentrate more on their careers. But when men are not attached to a woman, they are out failing and flailing on their own. And this can also be seen in the 7.2 million prime aged men that are not currently working. So, what does all of this put together mean? A lot of these men are having diets of Hennessy and hot wings, fast food, and alcohol. They're also doing things like smoking. They're doing things, and you can look these numbers up yourself. And like I said, a lot of this, I'm just kind of thinking out loud. We can have a bigger conversation. But the deaths of despair, those are the things that come like with drugs, the overdoses, the alcohol poisoning. Deaths of despair hits men harder. Men, 7.2 million men that are prime aged are out of work and not looking for work. And many of them are saying it's because they're not getting the social status. And we've already talked about that marriage rates, actually, I didn't say this, marriage rates are on the decline and women are getting married later in life. So like I said before, men are having to figure this stuff out. But in society, they are not being socialized or taught to caretake. They're not being taught in overall. Yes, I do know that some men are taught how to cook and do their own laundry, but a lot of them aren't. So with this fast food diet, a lot of these men are getting ED. So this was a comment on my post. This person says, yes, the diabetes to ED pipeline. Men are more likely to have type 2 diabetes. Worldwide, there are 17.7 million more men than women, and diabetics are 3 times more likely to develop ED. One study rated unmarried men as having 16% higher risk of being diagnosed with type 2 over married men. So, yes, more single men are probably going to break their peens. In case you're wondering about the mechanism, elevated blood sugars mean you literally have sugar in your arteries or veins acting like sandpaper, damaging them. This damage can lead to tissue damage in all sorts of places. Eyes equal vision loss, hands and feet equals loss of limbs, and of course, damage to the peen. So this person says ED is a sign of cardiovascular illness in males. Plus, the peen shortens functionally as the root is buried in fat. It's not just older men. There are videos of men in their 20s and 30s whose winky don't work well. And, in the comment section, this woman or these multiple women are talking about how they're nurses and they're seeing men in their 20s and 30s being impacted by ED. And just in general, if there is blood flow issues, there's going like through your heart, through your body, there's going to be blood flow issues down there. And by the time it's impacting down there, there's probably other things going on. So men need to nip this in the bud. And it's not just about having X with people. It's a whole holistic health issue that needs to be taken care of. So a quick Google searches on issues talking about ED and type 2 diabetes. Men with diabetes are 3 times more likely to experience ED than men without diabetes. And ED can occur 10 to 15 years earlier in men with diabetes. ED can be more severe and difficult to treat in men with diabetes. Right here, nerve damage. High blood sugar over a long period of time can damage nerves and blood vessels, which can make it difficult to get or keep an erection. Then at the bottom, limited blood flow, loss of compliance in the carnivorous trabeculae can cause a loss of venous flow, so blood flow loss. Now let's talk food. Eating a diabetes-friendly diet can help control blood sugar levels and reduce damage to blood vessels and nerves. This can also improve energy levels and moods, which can help reduce the risk of ED. But if you are doing the opposite, if you're eating a diet of Hennessy and hot wings, it's going to continue to put you on a path to diabetes and more ED. Now, how does alcohol impact it? Drinking large amounts of alcohol can make it hard to get or keep an erection. Alcohol interferes with the messengers in the brain that tell the peen to fill with blood. It can also happen because alcohol can reduce the production of testosterone. Now let's talk about smoking. Smoking can damage blood flow to the peen, resulting in ED. Smoking can also contribute to health conditions that cause ED, such as heart disease and type 2 diabetes. So this is a big old circle. I didn't look up the impact of drugs. There's also the impact of corn. People have weighed in on that and how corn is readily available, and that might be rotting people's brains. And, the mental impact of it, of seeing these people do these things and maybe their bodies are not realistic, or, whatever corn does to people's brains. But I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to start a conversation. I don't know the numbers of men living with ED, but we know that women are opting out of marriage. We know that the child-free movement is a thing. We know that women are saying, get someone else to do it. We have even had conversations about women who are opting to live separately, even if they are in a relationship. So I think that where society is moving to, more and more of these men are going to have to hold their own nuts, literally and figuratively, in taking care of their own health. I do want you guys to weigh in. Like I said, this is all just a theory, just something that came about because I was watching a video, and I'm not going to post that man's video because it's not about him. It's not about shaming him because he has ED, but he does eat a lot of fast food, and a lot of modern men do too. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think.